All right, so I'm doing both these Larry King interviews. I'll link them together. It's so interesting to see the two different Meghans. So let's see Meghan now a year later talking about Suits. And again, you can watch these in either order.
Is the paralegal at the firm
Seductive?
I don't know. Do you think so, Larry?
Just a comment.
Just throwing it out there.
No, I think she's really savvy. She has this encyclopedic knowledge of the law, and she is sort of the go-to girl for everything that people need at the firm. She also happens to be the love interest to Mike Ross, and
She's the woman behind the man. Every time Mike needs anything to happen, she's the one that actually
Are they
helps him.
So
living?
look at that. There's so much there. Now, in her other Larry King interview, she's Meghan the advocate, and she's so much more aggressive. And that, I think, supports the point that I think a lot of people use this advocacy as not a way to really help the causes, but as a way to put themselves forward because they could speak and be more aggressive, and it's hard to challenge them because they could accuse people of being against their cause, right? But look here, she didn't actually speak with that much confidence, and then she actually passed the question a little bit to the co-star, and then she starts making faces like she's upset that that she passed on the question. So it's really interesting. She didn't really have much to say or much confidence. She passed the question on like that was her own action, and then she's upset a little bit that he's talking. So again, I think that leads to again why she uses things like advocacy, because she can, even if she's lacking the confidence at times, she could use that to be much more aggressive in a conversation and take over to a point that it becomes all about her.
Together?
Not yet. This season is actually, at the end of last season was the first time that he had been fully honest with her about his secret, and so now into the third season they have a lot more material where they're becoming closer.
Well, why is
I'll just mention really quick too. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of actors overspeak, like overstate what they're doing. Like we watch clips of Suits, it's like, oh my god, I love her. And she's like, yeah, you'll never have me. And they're like, well, this character is this, and it's really about the human condition, blah blah blah. Like these like blowhard stuff. I feel like this guy is a bit of an ego as well. I also later on in the interview, we'll probably won't see that part, but it annoyed me. I feel like that's such a popular thing now, to like pretend you came up poor. Like he's like, oh, I couldn't pay my rent before I got this job. I'm like, dude, you're full of it. Like his father was a journalist, and he went to a private university in California for acting. Again, those of you who are in the US, that's probably like, $50,000 a semester. It's like the cost to buy like a house or something for like a degree that normally is not gonna make money. Like he comes from money. There's a difference between like, my parents like, hey, I'm gonna lower your allowance if you don't like get a part-time waitering job, and actually not having money. I have nothing against people who have money, but it's so annoying, this trend of like these like actors who clearly came from a good background lying about it. It's just annoying. Just tell the truth. Like, he's like, oh, I couldn't pay my rent, blah blah blah. He went, and went to a school just to pay him, a super expensive school to teach him to like make what he does sound extremely
this
serious.
show? It's the biggest show on USA. Why is it working?
I think it's so successful because of the characters, really. I mean, I've said it before. I think the way that they're constructed, if it was a show about a hospital or about a school or anything else, it really doesn't matter.
Every place has Suits.
Every place has Suits, but I really do think like the sexiness of the show and the intrigue of the show is the fact that these characters are so layered and people really.
So something I'll notice about her is, one, again, she's so much less confident in this situation. That's not a good freeze frame on her, but she's so much more confident when she's doing her advocacy speaking. And again, it just gives her an excuse, and I think it's because she likes the attention. The other thing I'll notice is she doesn't handle conversations that well. Like there's the clip of her mother where her mother talks and she gets like furious. I think she views like when she's talking or conversations kind of like a platform, like it's like a speech, and not realizing like he could be like, oh yeah, like they have Suits too. Like she said, yeah, they have Suits too, but didn't really handle what he said well. Like it's hard to describe, but I feel like everything to her feels like an interruption. She's not very good at the give and take. So she'll accidentally like say something to her about the co-star, and then he jumps in, and then she doesn't jump back in. I will say about him, honestly, he's kind of a blowhard as well. He talks quite a bit, and I think has an ego. I don't know. He just really annoyed me. He's like, I couldn't pay my rent. I'm like, dude, you're lying. Like, I looked you up. You come from a nice background. It's just annoying, these actors. It's like just lying. Like, oh, I come from rags to riches and I changed the world. It's like, dude, like, you had a rich family, you wanted to be an actor, they sent you to one of the most expensive schools, you became an actor. Like, why don't you speak with gratitude, right? Like, that would be nicer. Like, again, I have nothing against that, but stop lying. Like, it's just so annoying. You weren't not able to pay rent, not able to eat. It's just not true. It's like Lady Gaga, who to be fair, I've heard she's nice to fans, but like, she's like, oh, my parents were both lawyers on the Upper West Side. It was really hard, because they worked a lot. And we weren't really well off because, like, in my private school, I was like in the bottom third of like one of the richest private schools in the country. It's like, you're full of it. Like, don't lie to us. Go live in a cardboard box if you want to say you don't have money.
Relate to them. They know someone, or they want to know someone like they see on that show. So I think that's what brings people back, and then the New York of it all is pretty enticing.
The promos are hysterical.
That was a little weird expression she did there.
We have fun. We have a lot of fun with that
Entices
stuff.
you to want to watch the show. How'd you get the part?
It was the basic LA situation. I'd been auditioning for a long time, and then I got fired from a job a couple months before this script came through. And
Fired?
I got fired from a job, which is happens pretty regularly.
For
but
ineptness?
for just total ineptness.
Ineptness.
A common thing that happens
Was it
with
show?
shows.
The other thing too is I see a pattern in these interviews. She's like, again, she uses the women's advocacy stuff to be aggressive and take over conversations, but in her day-to-day, again, other than the men she dates, who she uses as stepping stones and treats like junk, she treats men much better than women. Like with women, she's ultra competitive. You see, she's always staring the daggers. With men, she's much less so. So it's really interesting, the difference between what she says in terms of advocacy and how she treats people. She treats women really badly, almost without fail. I don't really see any examples of her not looking highly competitive with women, or with eventually having a falling out with a woman for a very small reason.
Finding out how he is going to legitimize what he's doing.
Does everyone get along on Suits?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what people really feel about our show, is that the chemistry that we all have off camera just
Is that
translates.
important?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think and people are always trying to figure out the alchemy of what makes a great show and why it's successful. I think it's.
Did you see that? Like, her expression, like the swallow and then the anger. Oh my gosh, she is so mad. I don't even know. It's so funny, the difference. She really, for an actress, does not hold her expressions too well. I'll be honest though, again, I always call it like I see it. This dude talks a lot. He really does kind of take over the conversation, but it's funny how normally she does. But I guess with him, she had trouble doing that. But yeah, he talks a lot. I mean, we're skipping a lot of his parts, but he doesn't shut up either. He's not talking about himself, but he thinks he talks too much. So honestly, if it weren't Meghan Markle we've seen talk too much all the time, I would say he actually does kind of shut her out of the conversation. Like, if I were him, in a lot of the situations, like, they'll ask a question and he'll like describe the part. If it were me and I was talking a lot more, I am talkative by trying to include people, I would have been like, yeah, and I would have like addressed the other person, which he doesn't really do at all. So it's really interesting how different this interview is.
It's impossible, but the one key ingredient is you've got to have people who respect each other and get along. I don't think you always have to get along. You can have disagreements, but you have.
You just saw her breath come in, like the stress. But you know what? I think, again, they're both actors. I think a lot of people who are actors, they get into it because they want a lot of attention, right? They want to be actors. Like, that's like was the classic thing. It's like actors like attention. So I think that's why you see someone who talks a similar amount that she does.